is going down in Chancellor Park.
Welcome to Take Two Radio. We are pleased to bring you interviews with people in the entertainment and music industry, discussions and recaps of the 4 remaining daytime soaps. That's The Bold and the Beautiful, The Young and the Restless, General Hospital, and Days of Our Lives, as well as various other shows. For upcoming and previous shows, check take2radio.com. That's with the number 2. And you can find us on Blog Talk Radio, iHeartRadio, iTunes, and other streaming apps. Follow us on social media at Take Two Radio, and thanks for listening.
And good evening, everyone. Welcome to Take Two Radio Soaps in Review. I'm Pam, your host, and most of the gang is here today. Hello, Anthony. Hello, David. Hello, Carolyn.
Hello.
Hello, Pamela.
Let's send some well wishes to Candace, who can't make it this evening due to some family tragedy. We love you, girl, and we'll see you in 2 weeks.
Definitely. You take care, boo. We miss you, but we gotcha. So tonight, it's going to be a little bit different. We usually start off with an interview, but we're going to start talking about the soaps. And then at 7:30 Eastern, we're going to have the wonderful Courtney Hope from The Bold and the Beautiful join us. So, looking forward to that.
Absolutely. Vivacious, vulnerable, vixen. All those V words that we can use to describe the beautiful Courtney.
I'm telling you, you could put so many adjectives with her.
Mm-hmm.
And they're all good ones, so.
And now her newest claim to fame is Price is Right, girl.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, I saw that.
That's cute.
God, she's adorable.
They have a lot of fun doing that. Oh, boy. And there goes the dog.
Oh, Yorkie.
Yep. Hold on one second. Well, you guys can start with the Bold. Hold on.
Okay, so we are going to start with Bold and the Beautiful this evening. And it seems like there is trouble on the horizon. Well, forget the horizon. There's trouble right in town for Bridge and Rook. Okay. Let's reset that one more time. There is trouble right now for Ridge and Brooke in the form of children and in the form of a very dastardly Shauna.
Is she really that dastardly, though?
Isn't she, David?
Yeah, she is.
She called Brooke on everything. I mean, she's not all wrong about
She's not
Brooke.
all wrong, but she's definitely not right in her approaches.
No, not in her approaches. But,
Shauna's always up
everybody's
to
done something.
Yeah, but Shauna's always up to something. She doesn't do things, call people out for their own good. She's got something behind that. She wants Ridge.
And Thomas wants to make sure she gets her.
Absolutely. Well, it seems that there's no fallout as of yet for all of Thomas's bad behavior. The storyline just keeps taking these interesting twists and turns. And quite honestly, a lot of the chatter online is in favor, the favor that I kind of feel. Let's keep it going. He's interesting. He is a heck of an actor. So for as long as you can keep twisting it without having him pay the consequences, we all seem to be pretty good with it. Pam, do you agree?
Yes and no. I'm kind of getting bored with it, to tell you the truth. We need something fresh and new, and that goes for, although, believe me, Heather Tom knocks these these scenes out of the park. Don't get me wrong.
Yes, she does.
She's a wonderful, great actress. But why is she always in the hospital getting new parts?
Well, it's been 3 years since she's had an Emmy, 3 or 4 at this point. So, I think they're gearing up. Well, let's just transplant another organ in her body, and boom, we'll come home with the gold.
Seriously.
It's not uncommon either that this happens. I mean, it's where the medicine that they've been taking to keep her heart going affects her kidney. So that's not an uncommon factor. So nothing's really being blown out of the water.
I get it, but
especially when you combine that with alcohol. She did have a nice little stint, in the bottle.
Yeah, she did.
And I get that, that it's based on real life problems that transplant people go through. But I guess what I have a problem with is that there is nobody in Soapland that didn't know that Flo was going to be a match. I mean, that was just, why couldn't it be somebody like you least expected, to make it more exciting?
And, no one wanted to approach her for it either.
Right. That's another thing. Nobody even thought of Flo. Even though they're mad at her, she's still related to them.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, there has to be drama, and there has to be a way to, wring out every scene that they possibly can for this situation. And especially since they're shifting the focus for a little while and kind of taking it off, Liam, Hope, Steffi, and letting some other storylines play out. So, they had to wring it out, have everybody and anybody talk about it and wonder about it, and then boom, Flo's the mystery donor.
Yeah, I don't know. I guess I don't know. I need more excitement. I'm like, okay, yeah, we know it's going to be Flo. That's it. How else is she going to redeem herself and get back in with the family? Because darn well that Sean is not going to keep that a secret.
Oh, absolutely. That's going to be her bargaining chip. That's going to be her, her Vicks to hang over, both Brooke and Quinn.
Right.
Yeah. On another note, sadly, it's been reported, I'm pretty sure that it's true, although Bowles has not confirmed it itself, that Vincent Irizarry's stint is already up.
What?
Yep. He filmed his last scenes.
I haven't seen it yet.
He popped in the other day.
Yeah. Was that his last scene?
No, he said there's a few more scenes. He's got 2 or 3 more episodes that will air. And as of right now, they're basically done with the character, which, I mean, you have a man like Vincent Irizarry. You have Brooke, who's about to be single again. You have Shauna, who's hot. As much as I don't like the character, she is hot. You have Katie, who needs a man that's a little bit more responsible than Dollar Bill. They could have had him busy for years. I don't get it. Get it. If anyone from Days is listening, if anyone from Bowles is listening this evening, please reconsider and bring this man back. His scenes were electric.
Mm-hmm.
His scenes were so electric.
Oh my gosh, I'm sad to hear that. I really am.
No explanation why. That was fast.
No, just that the character's run its course for now.
Right. I was going to say he was probably hired just for, a short time, and that was it. But, of course, we didn't know that. And that's what happens on soaps.
Which, I give them kudos for. It's great stunt casting, since that ended up being the case. We all immediately thought you're not going to stunt cast with somebody like Vincent Irizarry.
Yeah.
hey, sometimes it happens.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
sad.
I didn't see Vincent say that. Of course, I haven't really been on social media too much lately the last few days because I'm not feeling well. But Vincent, we're here for you. We're rooting for you. We want you working. And if it's not on Bold, get you on somewhere else. I've always said I'd love to see him on GH. So GH,
you should be there.
Here's your chance.
Was it on Twitter or was it on Instagram? Where did you see it?
It was on Twitter and Facebook. Again, Bold is not confirmed, so this might also be red herring stunt. Tweeting.
Yeah, there's a lot of that going on everywhere.
Yeah.
Get everybody's attention.
If you look at some of these, spoiler alerts, and then you watch, and 3 days later they're completely reversing their positions. The biggest glaring one the other day was the Ava and Ryan scenes. And that she was going there to give into her evil side and plot to help him escape. When I was reading that, I was like, whoever's writing this, are you insane? Are you absolutely insane?
Yeah.
But unfortunately, I don't really. Pam, is there anything else interesting going on at Bold right now?
Not that I am aware of. David?
Let me think back. Well, I have one thing to say about that sweet little boy who plays Douglas and Brooke.
Go on.
Okay.
It is not her place to say where Douglas belongs. To say that
be Brooke
he
if
belongs
she stayed in her place.
What?
She wouldn't be Brooke if she stayed in her place. Brooke's always been in everybody's business.
I know.
Well, I agree and I don't agree with it because she is his grandmother. And she's looking out for his best interest, knowing how off the wall Thomas is. You can't give that boy back to Thomas right now.
Yeah.
And he is happy. He is happy with Liam and Hope.
And Hope. He is happy there. And in a way, Rich sees it and says they have their family. But the thing is, Ridge has to step up more and take charge unless Taylor comes back, because I think I'm reading it like Ridge sees it, and it's really not her place. It doesn't seem like her place to say where Douglas belongs, because he's not.
Yeah, but I
related.
look at it this way too. If she's part of the family, she's related to him and looking out for his best interest. I think myself, if one of my G kids needed help, like Douglas does, you're darn right I'd be spouting off and giving my opinion and trying to help that child.
In an Italian family, you don't need to be a grandmother or a grandfather. You can be an aunt and uncle, a cousin. You can be 3 times removed.
Right?
If you've got an opinion, it's going to be heard.
Right. Yeah,
Well,
I totally agree.
I guess we should move along to Genoa City, where there's a lot of interesting stuff going on.
The very first thing I want to say about Genoa City is Victoria throwing that envelope opener at Victor's portrait.
Oh, I love
and
that.
And then him coming into work and seeing it. His face was priceless.
Wasn't that awesome?
I loved it.
Not quite as awesome as the high heel shoe going through Stephanie's portrait, but yes, I absolutely loved it as well.
Yeah. No, it was good because it was great to see Victoria get that mad and finally make a decision that she's going to fight for her right to be CEO. And, you know, tell Victor what's for. She did that yesterday because I didn't see today's, but yesterday she laid into Victor and she told him either I'm CEO or I'm going to start my own company and I'm coming after you. Well, yeah, but he gave in to her.
No, and
I think
rightfully
that's what he
so
wanted.
at this point. Yeah, he wanted to see some Spitfire. He wanted to see the Newman come out in her. You know, and kudos for her, the writing team, of course, for not taking the Abbott offer. To me personally, the whole interplay between Kyle and Billy was just like useless. There was no point to it. But kudos, you know, for them not going in that direction.
Definitely.
That's just a story that has been recycled how many times? It can't be told any differently. There's nothing fresh about that. So when that started to come up, I was like, oh, no, Josh, no. And then I was like, thank you.
Right.
I do have a rumor. I don't know how true this is, but I read this. Maybe, Anthony, you can verify if you heard that, if this is true or not, or if it's just something spouting around. But Jeffrey Vincent Parisi, who's joining the show as Simon Black.
Yes.
The rumor is that he's Sky Lockhart's brother, and he's coming for Victor and Adam.
I heard that, and I also heard that they're in talks with Eva LaRue to pick up another arc, this time a longer 3 to 4 month arc. So I'm majorly excited about that. The chemistry between her and Jack was off the charts sizzling.
Yeah.
It is.
Yeah.
It was.
Yeah. You know, and Lola right now is kind of floundering. There's not enough dramatic going on with her. So if the reason that they bring Eva back in, is to stir up a little Jabot trouble, it would also, give Lola and Kyle some story to play. That's, I mean, this whole Lola Kyle, what's his name? The one that just got fired, is getting so boring. Theo, thank you. Unless, I'm hoping they're building towards a story where Theo has, a weird fascination / attraction to Kyle, and they're going to go in that direction. Though it's The Young and the Restless, and they don't usually play that kind of beat.
And they're bringing in Theo's dad.
Well, my thought
I read that too.
Theo's dad.
Yeah.
Oh. My thought was that Theo was going to fall for Lola.
No, I honestly think behind the scenes, Theo's obsessed with Kyle. And he's definitely got the chops to play, going psycho. So if they go in that direction, it'd be interesting to watch. We haven't had a good male psycho on screen in a while. Ryan Chamberlain, of course, but other than that, we haven't had a good male psycho in a while, and it would be interesting to see that spiral out.
It would.
Well, they may be leading up to that because he just lost both of his jobs with Devon. People are telling him off and telling him he needs to, be a nicer person and not try to hook everybody with his little theme things, like going after everybody's job, like going after what's her name's job. And that's when Devon fired him.
Right.
So,
he's a time bomb.
he might start spiraling because of all of the people are, like, nobody's his friend anymore except for for Lola, it seems to be going in that direction. And it cracked me up when he passed out when Lola cut her finger.
Yeah.
That was
and
hysterical.
Lordy, Josh, when are you going to give Abby a storyline?
I'm telling you. Well, she does really. She has a storyline. It's just kind of stagnant right now. But let me just say that her and Phyllis, I love when they fight, but then Abby gives in too easily. Abby needs to get it back and start fighting against Phyllis.
All I'm going to say to that girl is, girl, would you? Knowing Phyllis's history, how far would you take?
Yes, I would. I mean, when is going to be the bottom for Phyllis? Because she keeps conniving and doing all these dirty things. How is she winning? You can't walk around and say winning when you're not, because all you're doing is stealing and blackmailing.
Yeah.
And, they keep flirting with the chemistry between Phyllis and Adam. And there's all these open possibilities that have flitted across our screens and disappeared. I'm terribly disappointed that they dropped the storyline, of Tracy writing the book and having the feelings for Kane and so on and so forth. I get that there was a polarized fan base, but that kept everybody talking. That kept everybody interested. They should have kept that beat going. And I kind of feel the same thing with Phyllis. They've thrown her at every scene partner that they can think of, but nothing really, nothing's fleshing out, as a full-blown storyline.
Other than Jack. Jack and Phyllis has always been good for me. But it would be interesting to see Phyllis and Adam.
It'd be very interesting.
Mm-hmm.
And, I'm shaking my head just so you guys know what's going on with Sharon. Where is my girl? Where did she go? What happened to her?
She's in another dimension. she's
I have
not
to
in
admit,
general.
that after the Adam thing, I like that they brought her back to her education and helping Chelsea with Connor.
Yeah, that was a good scene. That was a good scene. And I also like that she didn't give in to Adam.
Right.
When he basically gave her that ultimatum, because it would have been so easy for her to do.
I'm 50-50 on that. I'm glad she didn't on one end, but I also think it would have been really interesting story, and it would have played out a lot of beats that people are hungry for. And on that same wavelength, it is absolutely wonderful to see Nichelle back. Obviously, she's not Hillary, and they're trying as hard as they can to have Amanda be her own character. But
right.
there's no beats being played with that either, and you don't need a slow burn for this character. She's got the chops to come in. They should have pitted her up with Phyllis immediately and played on the friendship that Hillary and Phyllis had. And, whatever agenda is going on behind the scenes, she should have recruited Phyllis into that storyline, because the two of them together would have been phenomenal. And of course, I'm going to say what a good 65 to 75% of the fans out there are saying, we want more Jill.
Oh, yes. It just makes me crazy when they bring them in for a couple of scenes and then they're gone again, because, Jill is, I think, everybody's favorite, no matter if she's good, bad, or ugly.
Well, the character, not Jeff Walton, but the character is one that has been with the show right from the beginning.
Yeah, correct me if I'm wrong, but she's the longest running character on the show at this point, correct?
Yes.
Yeah.
At least as far back as I watched, 78, so.
Yeah, definitely more Jill. And what do you think, out of the fallout of Victor pretending to be dead and then all of a sudden coming back to life, I think the person that was hurt the most was Summer, and I kind of like that she's going along with that and didn't forgive him right away.
Yeah, I kind of like that, but it's it's a beat that's already been played how many times? It's not. Forgive me, because y'all know that I love me some Young and the Restless. Maybe not quite as much as Candace, our girl who's missing this evening, does, but there's nothing fresh going on right now. There's nothing that's hooking us. Everything seems it's all stories that have been played before.
Right, and that brings me to Billy, what he did with Kyle. He's treating him not as an equal, like Jack made them, but as a lackey. I did not like that at all. I thought, who does Billy think he is?
Okay, see, now I'm going to take the devil's advocate side of that. That's part of, the personality breakdown. That's him repaying Jack through his child for the way Jack treated him all of his life.
Yeah, I guess so, but I just don't like it.
No, I don't really like it either, and quite honestly, I'd love to see first, and honestly, I'd love to see Eileen Davison come back for an extended amount of time and really just kick a bunch of butt. But if not, then have Tracy step in and say, hey, we've come so far. What the heck is going on now? Why are we doing this all over again?
Well, Tracy and Jack are totally unaware because they're busy doing the book. Excuse me. And I don't think that Kyle's going to run to his dad and tell him what Billy's doing.
No, but there were other people in the company who could have made a quick little phone call. We don't even have to see that on screen. Jack could come in with Tracy and say, hey, we're hearing that all this is going on. What the heck? What's up here? And that would be an interesting beat to play.
Yeah.
And whatever they're bringing, God, what is her name? Eva, what is her character's name?
Celeste,
thank you. Whatever they're bringing Celeste back in, it does have something to do with Jabot. So hopefully that will stir things up and be interesting, and maybe it'll push the Billy DID storyline, to its breaking point.
You don't think they're done with that storyline?
No, I think that there's definitely
that was too easy.
No, it was way too easy. There's definitely something else lurking.
Yeah, I thought it was too easy as well. That's why I said, how is he supposed to, cure himself by having a dream and beating himself up? That just, made no sense to me whatsoever.
I want to see him in therapy more.
And hey, since General Hospital doesn't want to use Nora Buchanan, they can bring her in as the character that she played on The Bold and the Beautiful and give Billy some therapy.
There you go. But didn't Billy started therapy, though?
He did, but I'd like to see it continue. If that's what it is. You're right what you said in the last show, Pam. It's not the DID that we're used to seeing.
No. Mm-mm.
No, not at all. There's got to be another story lurking under this all, or it was just such a waste of a couple of months and, just gratification to get him nominated this year for lead actor. Which, he does definitely deserve a nomination, but the story itself, no, not so much.
No, it was unless there is more coming. Then I want to see.
And it's very interesting as far as the men are concerned on The Young and the Restless. It's definitely Victor Newman's year. It's definitely Eric Braden's year, and it's definitely Jason Thompson's year.
Yeah.
Joshua Morrow, my God, oh my God, give him something interesting to play. I am so tired of him, I am a Newman, I'm not a Newman, I am a Newman, I'm not a Newman.
Maybe he has DID.
Give him amnesia and let him think he's somebody else for a while, because I am so tired of him being a Newman or not a Newman.
Well, he was a
let him think he's a
from
truck stop
Quick
diner
Minute.
waiter.
Yeah, you never know. I mean, that DID might be catchy.
And let us quickly congratulate the lovely, the very talented, the beautiful Chloe, a.k.a. Miss Hendrickson, who is expecting, and we've seen the baby bump, and it is absolutely adorable.
Yes, congratulations to her and her husband. That's wonderful news. So happy for them.
Great.
We might have our guest here. Let me pick up this call.
Hello?
Courtney, is that you?
Yes, it is.
Hello. Hi. Welcome.
Hi.
Hey, girl.
I've got co-hosts with me. I've got Anthony, David, and Carolyn, and I'm Pam. And welcome to
Wonderful.
Take Two
Hello,
Radio.
everyone.
We're so happy to have you.
Thanks. I'm so happy to be on the show.
Thank you. We know you're so busy, so we really appreciate it.
No, of course. I'm driving right now, so I hope that you guys can hear me. I'm actually leaving a meeting. I was hoping I would be home by now, but LA traffic never allows you to be on time. So.
I always hear about LA traffic, and the funny thing is, I've been out there a couple times. Of course, it's been many years, but we never had that problem. And maybe it was where we were, and we didn't have to deal with it. So that's a good thing, because I feel for you guys.
Oh my gosh, yes. Yeah, it's bad. It's like, I'm going 11 miles, and it says it's going to take 49 minutes. So.
Oh my gosh.
That just goes to. Oh yeah.
Well, I'm sure all LA drivers have come up with some creative way to deal with traffic and have to wait that long to get home or to where they're going.
Yeah, you have to find good music that you like or podcasts, and then find the side routes. I feel like I could draw my own map of LA. I know all the ins and outs of how to get home.
Well, I live in Chicago, and I know that when our highways are, clogged up like that, we get off and we take side streets. But I don't think it's that easy for you guys to do.
No, it really depends on where you are. I feel like if you're more in LA and like the heart of Los Angeles, it's a little bit easier. But when you start going into certain areas, it is more difficult to take the side streets, especially if you hit downtown, because a lot of the streets are one way, and I feel like it just kind of makes everything a little bit worse because you have to go 4 streets to just turn around.
Oh gosh, that's like downtown here too. So I understand that. I refuse to drive downtown.
Yeah, it's not fun.
No. Well, we each have a couple questions for you, and we'll go ahead and get started with that. I'd first like to mention how much we love you as Sally Spectra on The Bold and the Beautiful.
Amen.
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 Right? You're a feisty, passionate, and in-your-face character. So what do you love about playing Sally?
All of those things.
Right?
Yeah, she's so fun. I mean, I feel like Sally is so passionate for a lot of different things in her life, for obviously her creativity, her art, her designing, and then the people in her life. And I love that about her. I think she's a contender in a lot of arenas, and I love to be able to kind of find the ins and outs and the levels of her that are worth, fighting for the things that she believes in. And yeah, I mean, I love the ins and outs of Sally, and she's fun and she's spunky, and it's really cool to get to portray somebody that, has such a good heart, but also just, really doesn't like to take no for an answer.
Right, exactly. You're always fighting for what you want, and I love that about you, because there's not a lot of characters that'll do that these days, and you got to have at least one, and you're it.
Yes, well, thank you. I'm very honored to be that person. It's fun.
Well, another thing I wanted to mention is that you've been involved with gaming, and you're best known for Quantum Break, Star Wars, The Old Republic, Knights of the External Throne, and recently a game called Control. So congratulations on that.
Yeah.
And how did you get involved with gaming, and can you tell us a little bit about each of them?
Yeah, I auditioned just like any other audition, and my manager was like, we have this interesting audition coming up. Would you like to go out and be a part of it? And afterwards, I found that it was a game. And then, 6 months later, because gaming sometimes takes a lot longer to cast and get everything going through. So, 6 months later, I got a call offering me the role of Beth in Quantum Break, and they didn't even say Quantum Break. They said Beth Wilder, and I was like, who's Beth Wilder? Because it was, so long since I had auditioned. And so that's kind of how I got involved in it, and I love Remedy so much. They are just such an incredible company. Sam Lake is just such a visionary, and so working with him was really great. And then from there, I got cast as Valen in the Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic. I got to do a lot of their more video action pitch reels and stuff like that. So that was really fun to be a part of that. And then Sam called me probably, it was 2 Septembers ago now, and asked, he said, hey, we're doing a new video game called Control, and there's a lead of it. Her name's Jessie Faden, and it's like a paranormal shooter thriller, super weird video game. Do you want to be involved in it and be the lead of it? And I was like, heck yes. So that was really fun to dive into that as well, and it was cool through all of them. I feel like I got to play more of she was more militant. Beth Wilder was more of straight-laced, and she works for Monarch, which is the company that's basically trying to take over the entire world, and so I got to play that, and then through Star Wars play this villain, and then through Control kind of I got to be the hero. And Beth went from being part of the darker side, the villain, not her per se, but she was a part of the company that was basically taking over, to aiding the hero in finally getting to accomplish his goal. And so it was nice in Control to be that hero, to be that one that fought for what she wanted and what she believed in, and took on life's obstacles.
Kind of sounds like Sally, doesn't it?
Yeah. Well, it's so funny. I always say that every role I play, obviously there's a little bit of me in each and every one, and a lot of my roles I feel like I could find a lot of through lines from a lot of the characters that I've ever played, and a lot of them are always strong and fighting for things they want and believe in, which I feel like, you know, the leads of a lot of projects and shows have those qualities, and I'm just very thankful to be able to constantly play women that fight for change, no matter what it is, or they're exploring the ins and outs of life and how they fit in relation to those things. So that's been fun.
Yeah, we definitely need more women that are heroes and leaders and, you know, able to take on whatever comes their way. We need more of that, no matter what, you know, a part of our world, because we just don't get enough acknowledgement in that regard.
Yeah, no, I agree with you, and you know, I feel like a lot of that's changing, and people are, you know, women are redefining themselves as to what that strength means and who they want to be in relation to themselves and society, and it's nice to be able to be a part of these projects where people are writing these females to be, you know, to have a voice, and that's really nice to be a part of that.
Right. Now, I was looking at your Instagram the other day, and I noticed that you put up some of the drawings of your character, and she's adorable. Do you get any say-so on how things are done behind the scenes like that? Like the drawings and stuff, like of how you want to look?
Well, you know, a lot of those were from the fans, and what I loved about that was, like, it was their perception of what Jessie meant to them, and I feel like it really epitomized the whole point of Jessie, is that everybody's relationship to her and who she was to them, what they wanted to be, whether it was to be her, to be like her, to be her friend, whatever it was, they each had a different vision in their mind of what that was. And I feel like those drawings really encapsulated that meaning, you know, that each person saw Jessie as something different. And that to me was incredible. As far as behind the scenes go, you know, it was nice to be able to talk with them a little bit. I know when they were first kind of looking at Jessie, they were figuring out what hair color she should have. You know, she always had my face, but like what hair color, and you know, I was obviously beyond thrilled when they landed on, oh, you know, maybe we should make her redhead. I'm like, interesting. Where'd you get that from? Like, you know, like, wow, I've never done that before. So it was nice to kind of say that a little bit. But, you know, honestly, I never really felt the need to be like, wow, I wonder what Jessie would look like here. I felt like it was kind of fun to see what they did with her to begin with, and I still feel like I really I love who they created Jessie to be. You know, I know for a while they were like, should we have her hair down? Should we have her hair up? Should we have it short? And I just feel like whoever they created really stood strong as to who Jessie was. So I never really felt the need to. The only thing I ever said once was in a rendering. Her ponytail was white as opposed to black, and I was like, that's interesting. But then it just so happened that it was just, you know, they hadn't finished when they were doing it, and I was like, that was interesting. Maybe it should be, you know, black, but it doesn't really matter. They're an incredible company, and it did end up being black in the end, and they're just. I don't know. They're just visionaries. I've said this before. I really respect them as a company and what they do, and so I was interested to see what they brought to the table, and I think they killed it.
Yeah. Do you play these games? Are you a gamer?
Yeah, I really like playing games a lot. I'm definitely not like a diehard gamer just because it's just time. I have so much going on. But I do have games that I really like. I grew up playing Mario Kart, Mario World, Super Mario. Like oh my gosh, that was like my thing growing up. And then as I got into my teens, I kind of fell a little bit more into like the Grand Theft Auto I really enjoyed. And then lately I've actually been playing more of World of Warcraft, which I really enjoy. I'm more of like exploratory anything that challenges the mind. And so I did play quite a bit of Quantum Break, but it was a little bit challenging for me. I'm not really fully great at the whole shooter gaming. My aim is off. I'm not very good at that. So my boyfriend normally, he takes over and he'll do that. But with Control, I played all of Control. My boyfriend and I played it together, and we just switched off. We switched off with a lot of it because we were both so into it. And even though obviously Jessie is me playing Jessie, I lost myself in who she was because I just feel like they just did such a great job. I was really, really propelled by the story, and that doesn't always get to happen when you're a part of a project. It's like sometimes you want to be, compelled and inspired by a story, but I really felt like I was that with Control. So yeah, I finished the game. I didn't want to put it down. I woke up in the morning wanting to play it, which is big for me, and same with my friends and family and people around. And so yeah, I did play Control, and I loved it from beginning to end.
Well, I used to play games when I was younger. I don't do it so much as I'm older, and I will not even tell you guys what I used to play because that'll tell you my age. So that's that on that. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to let David ask his questions.
Okay. Hi, Courtney.
Hi.
I've noticed that you've been in a lot of science fiction. So my question is to you. I know that what interests me is that there's a parallel universe to ours in any science fiction we read. So what actually draws you into science fiction?
I think it's the theory, obviously, that that you said, there's a world that's parallel to ours, and I feel like the possibility of what else is out there, and having stories that go beyond reality, because I personally feel like there's more than just beyond reality in general. And I feel like that in itself is so interesting, that there's things that are, proven by people and they love to tell stories about it. And then there's, theories or possibilities of, oh my gosh, what if? And I feel like that's so fun. I love to take the imagination on a journey and see where it lands. And I love being a part of, those stories. And then watching them, any sort of anything that takes the imagination for a ride, I'm game. I love that, because I feel like just as human beings we get to expand our own world, and the more we expand our world, we get to experience other people's worlds, and within that you get to understand other people, and then we connect with something greater than just ourselves.
I hear you completely.
Awesome.
Do you have a favorite novel? Science fiction novel?
A favorite novel?
Yeah.
Oh, favorite science fiction novel. Well, not really science fiction novel per se. Actually, I'll be honest with you. I have not been good about reading a lot of novels lately. I've been so into I've been on documentary, a documentary surge for forever. I love anything involved with anything aliens or in stars or anything like that. I'm personally really, really drawn to. But as far as a specific novel, a lot of the novels I've been reading lately, a lot of them are a little more in the mental health realm of the possibilities of, I guess, of reality, which is the completely opposite of science fiction. So that's kind of where I've been lately. I did just read a vampire novel, which was really fun. But yeah, don't know. I've been on a documentary search for a bit, so.
That's good. Well, how about we go back to B&B, and
Okay.
I want to trace back. You were brought on as Sally Spectra, the grandniece of the original.
Right.
So my question is, when you were first brought on, were you educated on the actress who played your grandaunt, the late Darlene Conley, and what, if any, did you take away from that to bring to your own?
Well, I had known of Darlene Conley. I didn't know much about her or about Sally Spectra, honestly. When I got on the show. Actually, when I first got on the show, I didn't even know that's who I was playing. It wasn't until after I booked the role when the producers called me and said, this is who you're playing. And so from there, I really did, obviously, my homework. For days, hours and hours and hours and hours, I studied her and her roles. And actually, I say that for months I did. And kind of what I always tried to take away was, I feel like, there are characteristics of people in your family or people that you look up to that you try and emulate. You want to kind of take on those characteristics and bring them into your world, especially if you look up to them. And so I always really noticed the things that stuck out to me was her spunk, her pizzazz, her heart. Darlene Conley as Sally Spectra had such a grand heart. But she always kind of found the back door, the back way in. It wasn't. She never did things the traditional way, and those were things that I wanted to kind of bring into my portrayal of Sally, and say, find the things that Sally Spectra Jr. was going to look up to about her great aunt, and figuring out how to what parts of the script, what storylines, what relationships that I had where I can bring in those things and kind of almost use it as like, theoretical or hypothetical. My great aunt Sally used to say, and basically starting conversations or relationships in that sense, creating conversations that we had when Sally Spectra was a young child. So I did a lot of work on that. And that's kind of what drew me to, and then from there, I could kind of take her into being who she was, but I definitely still have moments, of like, what would great Aunt Sally do,
Mhm. Yeah, we love that you keep her alive.
Yes.
Oh, thanks. Yeah, that was really, really, really important to me, because I wouldn't be there without her. I mean, she solidified a character that the fans love and want to bring back, but then, also as Sally wouldn't be there without her either. I don't think she would have had her love for designing. I don't think she would have had a lot of characteristics. So she was very, very at the forefront of my mind in a lot of the things I did and still do.
Definitely love that. And she's a character that will never be forgotten. She was such a huge part of the Bold and the Beautiful, and we'd love to see more Spectras come in, for that matter.
Yeah.
Oh my
yes,
gosh,
we would.
yeah, me too. Yeah, I love her. Yes. My grams, I'd love at some point for them to bring someone as, my mother on too. I'm like, there's so much. There's so much to Sally we've never explored.
Exactly.
There's a lot.
Bold, if you are listening, please hear this. We need more Spectras. Thank you.
Yes, we do.
Well, thank you, David, for your questions. Next up is Anthony.
Thank you, Courtney.
Sorry, not Anthony. I'm sorry, I skipped. Carolyn is next.
Hi, Courtney. How are you?
Hi, I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. Carolyn from Florida.
Hello, Carolyn from Florida.
Hi. I see in your bio, you say in your spare time, whenever you get any, that you like to write.
Yes, I love to write.
What do you write about? Are you drama? Are you a poet? You do romance? What kind of writing do you do?
It really depends on the day and the mood. I love poetry. I love to write poetry. I love to write down my thoughts, and kind of move them into, as if at some point I'd love to create a motivational novel of some sort. So I always write those down. I love to write short stories of things that have happened in my life that I feel like would be interesting for, creating a script, because that's something that I'm working towards right now. I have a couple scripts that I would really love to make. So I'm kind of in the midst of starting to write those and finding a template for exactly what I want what the stories to be about. So I write about that. Just really anything that's on my mind. I mean, I have thousands and thousands of notes on my phone. I have so many, books around my house or notebooks around my house with things jotted down. Sometimes I write songs. Like, it's just anything. Anything that comes to my mind, I write it down.
Cool. So it's a form of journaling.
Yeah, in a way, but it's a form of therapy for sure for myself. I've done it ever since I was younger. I've written in journals since I was in elementary school, which is really cool, because I think that's also what's driven me too, is finding stories from a lot of different ages that I want to transform stuff into scripts, but I have stuff back from when I was in like third grade, writing about my friends on the playground and arguments that they would get in over, who ate the last bologna in the Lunchable. Like, no joke. Like, that was like written in. And then I have my thoughts as, in seventh grade when September 11th happened. I have pages and pages on that day because I wrote that night. Like, I mean, there's really interesting pivotal things in this that's just kind of propelled me. I understand more about who I am, which is really important as an actor. I know my toolbox, and I feel like that's really important. But then, yeah, I mean, I have poetry, I have stories, and so I'm constantly like, and I take notes on other people. Like, wow, I met this really interesting person today, and this is how they were, and this is what they did, and this is what they said, and this is what they've been through. So it's just more like a journal in a way, but there's a lot of stuff in there.
Well, it's an admirable quality, and you can go back on your journal and read and kind of work yourself through a lot of issues. Journaling, I think, is very important.
Absolutely. It's also really nice to look back and go, wow, I've grown. Or, like when you go through there's a lot of great things and a lot of negative things, not negative, but like hard times I've written about, and then a lot of really, really great high times, and there's a lot of me talking to, I'm very connected with, I'm very spiritual, and so there's conversations that I'd like to say, like conversations with God that I have, or whatever it is, and it's all documented, and it's nice to be able to sometimes go back and like kind of laugh sometimes and go, wow, like, giving my inner child a hug, like, wow, we've been through this, look at that, look at where we are now. Or if you're having, a down day, to look back and go, remember the time when I had this win? That was cool. And, like, remember those things. So it's nice.
Well, life is like that. It can't be happy and joyful every day. You have your ups and your downs. And when you read about it, what you've written, it's very, very important.
Absolutely. I feel like,
You should be doing work with young people. Young people, I think they're missing the point.
Yeah, that's actually something that I've actually been kind of putting together. I want to put together a little program or a little seminar where I can do that. That is something I've actually been actively working on. I think it's important, and I think, it also helps you better, most importantly, understanding yourself. I'm very into mental health and an advocate for a healthy lifestyle.
Amen.
And I think it's so important, and really understanding even little things like, I remember 5 years ago sitting down in my room and going, what do I want in a man, and I mean, I literally had like 160 things, and I remember walking away from that going, yeah, right, like but like little things, even like things that people would never think of, like, oh my gosh, I want him to like Blink-182, like, like things of going, what do I have to lose? This is my safe space to say whatever I want. Cut to like, a year later, I met my boyfriend. We've been together for almost 4 years now, and I came across that journal one day when I was cleaning out like my journal box, and I happened to flip to that page, and I sat in my room reading it, and I was like, oh my gosh, he's every single one of these things. And it was so crazy because I think what it did was it solidified for myself. I knew what to look for. I knew what I wanted, so that everything else that came my way, or everyone else, I was like, nah. But like that was just one example of going, I really got to know myself and go, as silly as it was important, and I feel like, a lot of young people, it's easy, especially in the age of social media, to get swayed by what other people are doing. We're seeing their highlight reel on a daily basis, and we think it's reality, and it's not, and exactly. And so as long as you go, okay, cool, I'm affected by that. Why am I affected by it? Does it make me feel like I don't have that? Does it make me feel like I want that? Does it make me feel like I don't want? Like, how does that make you feel? Write about it so that that way you see it and you can be clear and open so that you can love that person for what they're going through, or be open to it, or if you don't agree with it, unfollow them or whatever it may be, but you don't react, because so many people, I feel like, react and they don't know why. And I think that journaling has really, really helped with that. I can understand myself, why I react that way. That was weird. I didn't like the way that felt. Let's figure it out, and then I know.
Well, very good. The second question, obviously you're still studying psychology and you do motivational speaking?
Yeah.
Yes, okay.
Yeah. That's something I'm even working more towards, like I said, creating like a little program or a seminar, maybe like a half-hour thing I can go around and speak on. So I'm still working towards that stuff too.
Oh, very good. What motivates you?
Oh, man, so much. I think it really depends on the aspect of my life we're talking about, but I definitely feel like I motivate myself, my own goals. I'm very clear in a lot of ways on what those are and who I want to be, and it motivates me to be a good person and to make sure that I'm working towards the things that make me happy each and every day. My family motivates me. Good people motivate me. People that are clear on what they want. And even if you're not clear on what you want, you at least know what you stand for. I think that's really what's most important. That motivates me. But most importantly, being around anything creatively, people that would rather community than isolation. I'm all about love and acceptance and creativity and what the things are in life, the true meaning of life, which in my eyes is, to have experiences and to grow from those experiences and to connect with people that are like and different than you. So those are the things that really motivate me. I have my little boxes of life of like, I have my family and my work and then my fitness and my spirituality and my, each of the boxes I have, and each thing, they're different, but knowing my morals and values is helpful.
Oh.
Hello?
Hi.
Are you there? Oh, because there's a noise in the background. We didn't know if we lost you.
No, that's for me.
I hear it too. Oh, okay.
Well, thank you, Carolyn, for your questions.
You're a very inspirational girl. Thank you very much. And it's Mental Awareness Week, and you're bringing a lot of awareness here. And the young people seem to be cocooning, and I don't think that's good. They need to get out and express themselves.
Oh,
Amen.
I agree. I definitely. Yes, amen. I actually was just thinking earlier today and sitting down and writing something I definitely want to put out for Mental Awareness Week. But yes, no, you're right. I mean, that's definitely. I also feel like social media has done that in a way. Technology has done that, and I would love to be able to use it as an opposite platform to get their voices out there. But people go, I don't know what to say. Just pick up your phone and say, you know, I hope you have a great day. You know, whatever it is, find something to say and say it. And but yeah, there's so much to do that. But yes,
stop judging and uplift people and inspire them. I think we need more of that.
Amen.
Well, thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
And last but not least, we have Anthony.
Hey,
Hello,
Courtney.
Anthony.
Good evening.
Hi.
Before I jump into questions, I just want to say I was a huge Sally Spectra original fan, and I was waiting anxiously to see what you were going to do with Sally Spectra Jr. And my favorite thing, your kick butt and all of that, but my favorite thing is the vulnerability that is so apparent and present and believable and beautiful in the character, and the way you emote it and bring it through with her. I just want to say kudos and congratulations, because you know it could have been a character, and you've really fleshed her into a full, beautiful, vulnerable girl, woman, human. But
thank you so much. That really means a lot to me. I appreciate that.
You're welcome. Having said all that, you are currently living out a dream of many, many, many of us who have always dreamed, when we were little kids, we dreamed about Romper Bumper Stomper and having our name read in the magic mirror. And then as we grew up a little bit, we always dreamed about hearing the words, "Come on down." And you are on the other side of that fence right now. Can you tell us a little bit about your Price is Right experience?
Yeah, it is such a blast to be on that show. I've watched The Price is Right for, as a bunch of us have, for forever, and it's just, I can't even describe the feeling, the energy, the good positive vibes that radiate from everybody there. Everyone is so happy and they're having fun, and even if they're nervous because they want to win something. It's not like they're and I would still say they're tackling those fears while they're doing it, and it's so wonderful to see. And then when they win, I mean, the first day I left there, my mouth, and I smile a lot, and I'm very happy. My mouth hurt so bad from just smiling and laughing all day, and I was like, what a wonderful thing to be sore right now, from smiling so much. And it just is so cool, and everyone on there is just so great, and it's so much fun. It's definitely, I mean, as a model, it was definitely a different set of skills, because as an actor, it's like, God forbid, don't look in the camera. But on this, it's like you have to look in the camera the entire time, and even when someone's talking to you, you can't look at them, because you have to be looking at the camera so that it looks like you're looking at the audience, the viewers that are watching from their home. So that was something that took me a minute to retrain my brain from everything that's been, beaten out of me since a young actress. Don't look in the camera, So that was kind of fun. I always love being challenged.
Awesome. My second question, and thank you so much for giving us a little glimpse into that. My second question, you've been pretty vocal on our call and social media and so on and so forth. You're one half of an absolutely adorable couple. Can you give us a little bit about what is the best and worst thing to be involved with another soap actor?
Yeah. Well, I definitely think one of the best parts is that we understand each other's lives and we understand each other's jobs, because it is very different than a lot of other jobs in general, but definitely in this industry. There is a lot of content in a short amount of time, and I think it's nice. It's nice to be able to have that stability with someone and that understands your life, and that's been really cool as an actor in general, but definitely both in soaps. And it's fun to kind of have like the, oh, you guys are the soap couple, you know. It's nice to kind of have that accreditation, if you will, you know, to go, oh yeah, we're that. And he's just absolutely wonderful, and we really we just connect on. He's my best friend, and we connect on so many different levels, and it's nice to have that. And also with soaps, you kind of also you have that stability, you know, for the most part, and then you also get breaks, and it's nice to have those breaks that line up at the same time where we can go, because both of us love to travel, and we love to be able to go off and experience new places and new people and new things, and so that's been really fun. I would say, you know, one of the worst things, if you would say, is just, you know, everyone wants to, you know, especially as an artist, there's so many other things that you want to be, there's so many things you want to be doing as an artist. You want to be able to do, you know, games and TV and film and whatever it is that, you know, we all want to be doing it. And I think sometimes it's hard because you have that stability to go, you know, just the mentality of, you know, we've talked about this before, him and I, of, you know, hey, I want to go do a primetime thing, you know, and see what ends up happening. But a lot of primetime shows now, it's like, you know, you get a season and then it's canceled and then you're out of work, and knowing that, you know, we are both actors, and that, you know, we also have to, I wouldn't say it's worse thing, but it's a more of a it needs a little bit more of our attention, because, you know, building a lifestyle together and eventually, you know, having kids one day or whatever it is, looking at, okay, how can we sustain a family while we're both still fighting for our dreams and supporting each other, you know, because you just never know in this business. And so that's something that I wouldn't say it's a negative thing, but, you know, with any two actors together, I think that's just a general, you know, looking at what else you can be doing in your life so that you can still build the lifestyle that you want and not be at the mercy of, you know, when your contract gets renewed, or if your show gets picked up, or whatever it is. A lot of actors go through that, and I don't think that just because we're on, you know, soaps that really is any different in the long run, you know, because we're both in this for the long haul, the career, the relationship, all of it. And so you kind of have to look at, you know, what comes down the line. But we're very positive, spiritual people, and we always believe that everything happens for a reason, and, you know, so, but I would say almost everything is positive. Everything.
And then that definitely comes through. You guys have the perfect mix of being open and vocal and out there with, you know, your coupledom and your career, but also, you know, having a little bit of mystique and not being in our faces constantly. You guys have a really great mix of that, and you're an adorable couple. So thank you for being as open as you guys are. It's fun to watch.
Thanks.
We have another co-host who had a family emergency, so I have two questions for her. Do you still have a few more minutes for us?
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, Candace's first question was, you are a horror movie fan, and she is also a horror movie fan, and this is Horror Movie Month. What is your favorite horror movie or horror movie series, and why?
Ooh, that's a good one. Man, there are so many horror films that I love. A couple of years ago, Chad and I did a horror movie marathon. Every single day in October, we watched a horror movie. By like day 20, 25, we were so jumpy. Like, you know, a cricket jumped out at me and I screamed. Like, I was so on it. I did it to myself. But I love The Babadook. For some reason, that one really got me. I love, everything, you know, from first off, all of like The Conjuring, Annabelle, The Nun, all that stuff really, really gets me. Those things, anything paranormal, anything dealing with anything in that realm, really, really, really affects me. But I would definitely say those are some of my top ones that really get me. I love the psychological thrillers. That's why I always go towards the Babadook. For some reason, when your imagination gets going, I mean, when it's dark and after a horror film, if I'm walking downstairs to get water, I mean, I've basically like come up with 10,000 scenarios how there's ghosts and goblins and everything else, and I've basically died by the time I've gotten to the bottom of my stairs. Like, that's what's happened in my brain. So, I love the whole thing. And then I loved The Haunting of Hill House, the series.
That's my
really,
favorite.
Really enjoyed that. Oh, it was so good. And the jump scares, I mean, that one in the car, man, got me because I wasn't expecting it. It's like a day scare and they're fighting, and then, oh my God, it just was like I screamed so loud. But I love that stuff. And I also say it's more fun, obviously, because I don't live alone. I feel like I went through a phase where I didn't watch many horror films because, you know, I lived, this was like 4 or 5 years ago. I was living by myself in my apartment for, you know, a year and a half or so when my roommates moved out, and I couldn't stomach it. I tried it for like a day or two, and then I was like, why am I doing this to myself? I was like clutching onto my dog. She's like, you're supposed to be my alpha. What are you doing? Like, I was like, Stevie, you have to protect me. But, yeah, those are some of my favorites.
Well, Candace is our deep thinker, and she's a teacher, and she always likes to throw out a profound question. So her final and our final question for you, and you already alluded to your spirituality a couple of times on the call, so this question is perfect. What do you think your purpose in this life is?
I love this question. I feel like it is changing my perspective on my purpose. I feel like for the longest time, and I do still feel this to some capacity. I want to help people. I want to make people feel less alone. And that's been something my purpose has been since I was a kid. You know, I mean, when I saw anyone being bullied or ostracized as a child, I would cry. I was racked with emotion, and I just wanted to fight for that person and fight for myself whenever, you know, would happen. 'Cause it happens to everyone in some shape or form at some point in their life, at least most people. And so I'd say that's a huge, huge thing. But over the past year or so, I've kind of transformed that into having that purpose be to have experiences and connect with others, and through that connection, have a communication and an understanding that we are not alone as human beings, and that is not the point of life. And it is to there's something beyond us, and it is to love one another and create and collaborate. And I feel like my purpose is to just be one of those people that just wants to connect and collaborate and create stories and tell stories and hear stories, and just be a drive for positivity and for love and for creation. I feel like that's been something that just always really, really drives me. And I do feel like whenever I'm in alignment with those things, I feel like I'm the happiest. I feel like the people around me are the happiest. And, you know, if there is anyone that's going through anything, I love to be that ear. I love to be there and to be that safe haven. I want to be that for other people, but also for myself. And because, you know, you gotta refuel yourself before you can shed your light for others. And so I like that question. That's definitely been something I've been, you know, I turned 30 in August, and for me, it was like this like pivotal moment of like, wow, who do I want to be for this next decade? And what does that mean? And where have I gotten till now? And what can I take from it? And so I've been going through these past couple months a very in-depth analysis of that question. So I love that's what was asked, because it's still something that I'm moving forth, but everything always surrounds itself with love and spirituality and creativity. Those are, you know, I feel like I'm all heart and all art, and those are the things that drive me.
Well,
Wow.
you are definitely all heart and all art, and thank you for bringing your heart and art to us tonight. Before you go, do you want to tell the listeners where they can find more heart and art of Courtney?
Yes, absolutely. You guys can find all the heart and art and all the love in the world and connection with at the Courtney Hope on Instagram and on Twitter.
Oh,
Thank
that's
you,
wonderful.
thank you.
I'm sure you have touched thousands of lives with, you know, just social media alone and people around you, and then it, you know, people pay it forward and it just spreads and spreads, and we need more of that. And I love that you do that and the way you think and how you live your life, and I want to thank you for that, and thank you for joining us tonight.
And when you have your
you so
program
much.
developed, please come back and share it with us. Learn, springboard it from us.
Absolutely.
We'd love to have you.
Absolutely. I definitely will. You guys were fantastic, and I really enjoyed the conversation, and thank you so much for having me. And for
You're
supporting
welcome.
me.
You're very welcome.
Oh, you're welcome.
You have a beautiful
Have
spirit.
a good night.
Thank you.
Tell
You
Chad
guys
said hi.
too. I will.
All right.
Okay.
Take care.
Bye, guys.
Bye-bye. She's a very, very deep person, but in a good way.
Do you feel like I feel full right now in
Yeah.
that spiritual, in that, like, I feel like I got hugged about 13 times.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
15.
Yeah. She's
Well, it's October. I got to go with 13, Dave.
she's we need more people like her, let's put it that way.
Absolutely. And
Wow.
there's something about our show. We get deep, we get inside, and God, tonight was another one for the books. Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Courtney,
Yeah,
you
after
were awesome.
Rael and now Courtney. I mean, church again.
Oh, Pam Powers, pat on the back for you.
Thank you.
I don't know how you did it, but you did it.
We only have 37 minutes left, so let's go ahead and dive into the last two soaps. Let's go with Days. Carolyn, hit it.
Well,
Life sands through the hourglass. Carolyn, tell us about the days of our lives.
oh, Gabby has hit it out of the park this week. It's been really, her acting is phenomenal. I'm so happy she's getting her redemption, because a few years ago with all that with Chad and whatever, they were bullying her big time on social media. So now they're loving her, which I'm really happy about.
Which is definitely a kudos to Camilla, obviously, but also to Ron and the writing team. You know, they found the niche and they worked it hard. You know, people were saying that it was a little too fast, the transition from hate to love, but those two actors did a phenomenal job of making us believe it. And then her this week, like you just said, powerhouse performances. When she was screaming at Kayla and then Roth, you know, and then even collapsing into Rafe's arms, it was just, I mean, it was gut-wrenching and so believable and so, you know, just profound, powerful. Absolutely.
Well, they're showing how strong she is, because they're all coming after her this week. It was did everyone watch it today with Doug when he came in and was talking?
Oh my God! Yeah.
Yes.
No, I the last one I watched was yesterday's.
Well,
so what happened today?
Doug came in and he just said that he wouldn't judge her, and he understood what was going on, and it was very touching today.
be watching that later on tonight.
Yep.
Another thing is when she had Rolf come in and, wanted him to save Stefan, and then when he told her he couldn't, and, she attacked him. I mean, you can just understand how she feels. She wants somebody to perform a miracle, and it was so heartbreaking.
I love that the writers went there again. Recently they have to have been listening not only to our podcast, but to, across the net, across the board. They had to have been listening to the fans saying, the elephant in the room that you keep ignoring is pissing us off. When she started screaming, how many people have you brought back from the dead? Why can't you do it with him? It was everything that we've been waiting for a character. I've always said, and I've made a joke about it, that, one of these days at a funeral, someone's just going to get up and start going off the rails. They're not dead. They're not dead. They'll be back in a year. Please stop crying. Stop crying. Let's go party. They're going to be back. And they gave us a version of that with Gabby and Rolf. And, kudos, Ron, kudos the whole team, and kudos Camilla for gut-wrenchingly pulling it off. We felt it. We were screaming with her.
Right.
And yeah.
And this is the heart of Ron right here. We're seeing again, because I see a parallel between this and Rex giving Clint Gigi's heart.
Yes.
Mm.
And the same type of dynamic going on with Camilla taking JP's.
And also, if we're going to stay in the congratulating Ron mode, I do have to say, I was skeptical. I knew Robin Strausser would pull it off. How exactly she would pull it off, I wasn't sure. I wasn't sure what mode, what direction. That woman is somebody. Young and Restless, Bold, General Hospital. Somebody hire this woman. You need her on your show. We need her on our television. And he hit every beat. Dr. Kramer, I almost fell off the couch.
Oh, I know. Me too.
The last scenes between her and Eve were definitely, without a doubt, a nod to One Life to Live.
Yes.
The writing of this version of Vivian Alamine was, when she said to Kate, and could you step a little to the left, darling? I was in awe of the writing itself and her delivery. It was just so classic soap, so classic Ron, so awesome. And again, please, somebody hire this woman. Hire her. Bring her onto our television every day.
Yeah.
I hope.
Yeah.
Bring her back
and
today.
I think one of her best scenes was her last scene. When Stefan got shot and her scream and you could feel her pain and and he's dying right there in front of her, telling her to run and she's like, when she starts taking off and they're like, Lonnie's like, where are you going or whatever, and she says, I'm doing what my son told me to do. I'm running, and wow, it was just so good.
Yeah, and, her parting words to Eve. The whole 15-episode arc was brilliant. It wasn't enough, but it was definitely satisfying. Moving on to Farcical, the land of suspending our disbelief completely. I am absolutely loving the byplay between Victor and Brady, and Victor and Sonny and Will. Highlighting the whole how could this have happened, and you're going back to her. There's nobody who does deadpan like John Aniston. He just hits. The delivery is so good. Honestly, the storylines are a little hard to swallow at this point, but the writing is so good that you find yourself in it and forget. There were so many times during the Mask storyline that I had to remind myself, wait a minute, this can't possibly, this doesn't actually happen in real life. And again, it's moments like with John, with Victor, where the deadpan brings it back to normalcy in such a farcical way. There's nothing that man, kudos to the writing. Having said that, there is no way to pull Brady back from this brink at this point. He is spiraling in. He is going to be with Kristen, and it is going to be the biggest hot mess of, the fall and or winter season on Days of Our Lives.
Even though I know they're going to end up together, she's already moved in, so, what's next? But once he sees that baby, that's going to be enough for him, I think, and it'll pull him closer to her, if she has the baby, that is. But I don't like them as a couple.
No.
I don't
feel a chemistry.
Honestly, I want Xander and Sarah together, but were that not the budding couple, I do think Kristen and Xander as a couple would have been fun to watch play out.
Thank you. I thought the same thing. I thought the same thing.
A lot more fun than Kristen and Brady, that's for sure. Having said all that, we are poised for a time jump. Do you guys think that that's going to be an interesting move? Do you think it's a mistake? Do you think
I was thinking about that today. I can't even imagine what they're going to do and how I'm going to feel about it because, I don't read spoilers. So I don't even know if there's been any spoilers out there about this time jump.
I've seen something on the time jump.
It's a really risky move because they're telling story that is so involved. It's so, we're so deeply entrenched. It's not like stories are wrapping up and then they're going to time jump. We're in the thick and thin of it. So it's definitely a risky move. I definitely want to ask you guys what you thought of, the return of Jack's memories, how that played out. Was it satisfying? Was it worth the ride that we took? How do you guys feel about that?
Carolyn,
I'm going to ask you first.
Yeah, boring. Anticlimactic for me.
Really?
David?
I'm glad he got his memory back. Let's put it that way.
Finally.
Yeah. And it was great. And I go back and forth with the way it came back. They were all waiting for Rolf, and he didn't need him.
Yeah.
I
Well,
think it was
to me, I don't care. I don't care how it came back. I'm just glad it came back. And the only thing that throws me off with how it came back is that everybody else has needed, to get this shot from Dr. Rolf, so why not Jack? I don't understand that.
Yeah.
And why didn't Vivian have memory loss? That wasn't explained, and that kind of bothered me as well. Vivian and Tony both don't seem to have any memory problems, and that that's kind of hanging in the air. I wish they would have somehow explained that. I think it was very anticlimactic.
I just assumed that Rolf gave them the shot. That was my assumption because I didn't hear anything other than that. You know what I mean?
That's a valid point, actually. I think
a lot of disjointed, flipping it all over. And now poor Hope, she got injected today.
Yeah. Well, let's let
I'm wondering.
Anthony, you finish your thought, and you were saying it was anticlimactic for you.
It was anticlimactic for me. I mean, they took us on this journey. We've been on it since literally the first day of this year. So, we've been on it for 10 months now. For it to have wrapped up. Yeah, for it to have wrapped up in that way, it just felt very anticlimactic. And they teased us. They gave us Vivian, don't get me wrong, but they teased us that this was an umbrella storyline. We were going to find out who else was in the rooms, and they just teased us with more questions. They put Vivian with Kristen, and she speculated possibly Stefano is out there, who else is there, and what's the grand plan. And then she's out of town, so we're definitely not going to get any movement as far as that part of it goes. And the whole umbrella storyline that was supposed to come of it, if it was just Nicole and Vivian, then I feel really let down on that side of it. I don't understand. Yeah, I don't understand where Rafa's going with this whole Hope thing, and I'm hoping, with the time jump, like, why are you starting this? It better be something really good. Otherwise, there's a lot of questions dangling out there that I think the time jump is just going to make us, we're not going to get the answers to. So they're going to move on, and that's sad, and that's kind of not fair. But, it is.
Do we know why there's
good.
Time jump?
No, there are certain spoilers out there, and like Pam, I've avoided them for the most part. Somebody is really speculating. The one that keeps popping up and that's almost unavoidable is that it's a Dr. Roth experiment gone wrong. But he's never played in the astrophysics plane. He's more, biological. So if it is a Dr. Roth experiment gone wrong, that's going to be really weird. But hey, we'll see what comes of it.
Maybe it'll be a Dr. Rolf world for a minute.
Well,
It'd be fun.
He's very angry with Hope. So, and it all stems to her getting away with murder with Stefano. That's what he said today. That's why he's injected her.
Oh, so that's okay. See, I didn't see today's either.
Yeah. She thought he was going to inject someone else, and then he surprised her, and he's injected her and yelling at her that he's going to get back at her because of Stefano. She got away with murder.
All right, well, I guess that answers the question.
I couldn't figure that out either.
Yeah.
Now, the one big hope. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Carolyn. Finish.
Go ahead. His nasty side is raising its ugly head.
The one big hope that I have in the time jump, obviously, Chad and Gabby will be back on canvas. And will they explain everything that's going on with Chad and Gabby in Paris? Who knows? But the one big hope that I have is that they'll shock the hell out of us. And since me saying this out loud right now probably would ruin the surprise, but I'm really, really hoping that it will be bringing EJ and possibly Sammy, but at least EJ back on canvas, and finishing up that storyline. And, if you're listening and you haven't done it, please bring back Susan. We need more Susan. We love Susan. Anything with Susan is good. Bring her back.
I agree 1,000%. I love her.
Yeah.
David, any final thoughts before we jump to General Hospital?
Yeah, I did hear when the time jump's happening.
First week in November, right? Isn't that what I heard?
I heard around Thanksgiving.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Well, I saw a headline or something like that it was November, but that's all I know about it.
And something is coming around the first of the year. The big reveal, the first of the year.
Mm.
We can only hope.
I don't know what it is. Just that's what they said. And that came
And actually,
from...
before we jump to General Hospital, have we seen for now the last of Anna and Tony?
I don't know. I haven't heard anything
I
about
don't
that.
know.
Have you?
No, that's why I'm asking. They
I
were
was
in the
gonna
thick
say,
of the
have you,
story.
David,
I haven't
but then
seen any
he
more of
started
them.
talking. Well, the last of it was like he got out of jail and they were together, and I'm trying to think their last scene that. I hope it's not
It was
the
like
last
they were going to
scene.
get dinner and
Let's
get
put it that
busy,
way.
and then we never heard from them again.
Yeah.
I think with
Maybe there's
Stefan being shot.
Mhm. Yeah.
And Kristen and him aren't divorced. Well, I guess is the marriage not valid? No, the marriage must not be valid. Yeah. Well, with Stefan being shot, you would think he'd pop back up, especially to kind of discuss with Kristen.
I know.
But all right, before we run out of time, let's hop over to Port Charles.
Okay.
And all right, I guess I'll take the lead on this. It is about to go down in a couple of different areas. Everybody thinks it's the end of the troubles for Samantha, but no. We're about to see Wave 2 come through. We're about to see the fall of Peter. Finn definitely knows that there's something rotten in the state of Hayden. I really think General Hospital is trying to pull all these loose ends together and give us a blanket resolution to a lot of the storylines that are dangling. I love, of course, the fact that Nell is back on screen and will be sticking around for a while. I think.
Is she?
Yeah, she's going to be around for a couple of months, so that's exciting. I think it was a little lackluster how they brought in Michael E. Knight, but it's definitely some interesting storyline that he is going to be somewhat the evil lawyer, the sleazy lawyer.
Do you think he is? Because they were saying he's famous, that he's a famous lawyer. So I didn't know if that was a good thing or a bad thing because he wins his cases. I mean, does he just do whatever to win his cases? Is that where the evil comes in?
Yeah, I think he's definitely going to be sleazy evil. You can kind of see it. I mean, look, taking on Nell's case and taking on the Franco thing, and the manner in which he's setting up the court battle for Franco definitely shows. I think he would be perfect to be pitted against Alexis both in the courtroom and in the bedroom. I don't feel any chemistry whatsoever with her and the Good Doctor. If he happened to fall off the dock and into Port Charles River and disappeared, I wouldn't mourn him one little bit. And I think that there would be fireworks between the two of them. I'm still very happy for Donna and her surgery, and it was very beautiful the way they brought Mike in. I thought they beat us over the head with the Donna Messina thing a little bit, but, kudos. I mean, that woman had been on the show for, 40-something years as a makeup artist, so I guess she earned
I
that.
think that's a beautiful tribute to her, yeah.
No,
and I have
a beautiful tribute.
I was going to say, the only thing that I kind of get like a choked up feeling every time they say Donna, because that was my mom's name. I'm like, of all the names you had to pick. But I absolutely love that they gave her the middle name of Courtney.
Yeah. Yes. A lot of people speculated that it was going to be Donna Morgan, because Morgan can be,
so
male
too.
or female. Yeah. I'm glad they went with Courtney.
I am too. And I would
what
like
do you guys think about the big
point out
wedding reveal?
that. Oh wow, yeah. I'd like to point out one thing that I hear I hear some fan speculation that fans think just because Donna's surgery went well doesn't mean that she's cured of the spina bifida, because there is a cure for it. She's just, people are thinking they're not going to see her struggle to live, and you just have to wait and see, because it's developmental.
But if anybody listened to what Carly said, she said she didn't know if she was going to be enough to help Donna get through life. So that tells you right there that operation was not a cure.
Yeah, absolutely.
She's fine for now.
I think the people that were saying that were just looking to nitpick at something. General Hospital was definitely not saying, this is one and done and we're good.
Right.
No, they were just looking for something to nitpick.
Yeah.
So what do you guys think about the big wedding reveal?
Well, I knew Lulu couldn't keep her mouth shut. I just knew it. I knew she was going to say it. I'm torn on my feelings with that, because I did want her to do it because that truth needs to be out there, but I don't think that she should have been the one to say it. I think that Sasha should have, she was coming to terms with wanting to talk about it and to tell the truth, and she, talking with Michael about it. I think that she should have done it.
Well, Lulu, in Lulu's defense, she had no way of knowing that Sasha was coming to terms and talking to Michael about it.
Right. No, I agree with that. Lulu, but I'm just saying, I don't really like that Lulu was the one to reveal it.
No, me either. And, honestly, I would have much rather have seen Lulu go to Sasha, and give her the ultimatum, either you tell her or I'm going to.
Right.
But that's not Lulu Spencer fucking either. Lulu's always been impulsive and a little too hot for her britches, and they've softened her because, Julie Berman was definitely a harder edged, a harder, a more dynamic, dramatic actress. But, I will give Em Ryland, when push comes to shove and she's got to play it, she does have her own style of playing it. And, I wish the writers would have gone in the other direction, but I'm glad it's out.
I'm glad it's out.
Yeah, I'm getting very bored of, the machinations. As much as I love Olbrich, I'm getting bored of, the behind-the-scenes machinations of that. I'm getting bored of who is this mystery player, who wants the codicil to the will. And if Valentine is not truly Valentine, let's get it out. Let's get it on the canvas. Let's get it rolling. They've dropped hints in 16 different ways that Nicholas is still alive out there. So let somebody find him and bring him home.
That was one of the things that I was going to say is all the Nicholas mentions. It's making me nuts. Are you bringing him back or aren't you?
Yeah, and if Hayden knows about it, and has interacted with Laura, Ava, everybody on canvas, and it will be a really, really, really hard pill for General Hospital to sell to the fans, because they're already on the edge of, they're pissed off over the Jason Drew, they're pissed off over Drew, being written off the way he did, and now turning Franco into the new Drew, and if Hayden's known that Nicholas is alive all this time, it's going to be a big backlash on General Hospital.
Yeah, I cannot take much more of this Franco Drew thing. I really can't. He needs to get injected, and he needs to be back to Franco, and that's it. I just do not. What do people call him? Franken-Drew or Frankenstein or Franco?
You'll hear Franken-Drew, Dranko.
Well, whatever.
I honestly think it would be very interesting if they did something like Franco's memories come back, but only up to the point where he's still in love with Nina and he doesn't remember anything about being in love with Elizabeth.
You read that?
No, I said I think that would be interesting if they did that.
Where he's in. I think Nina and Jax are going to end up together.
Do you guys see any salvation for Kim after the storyline is resolved? Is there anywhere else for her to go?
I'm actually bored to tears with that, too.
I would like to see her go someplace.
But,
I would like something different for her.
She needs to snap out of it and recreate herself or something. I just, what her character is doing now, along with this, with Franco Drew, I'm tired of it. I understand she's going through grief, but this is insanity.
Mm-hmm.
She needs help big time.
Yeah. And I'm going to say this. I'm interested in your opinions as well. It doesn't feel true to me that Julian would throw up his hands and walk away at this point. I think it would have been more believable if Julian went sort of the Elizabeth route and, like, you're crazy, babe, I need to get you help. Not, you fooled around with the ghost of your ex. I all the bad things I've done in my life, you redeemed me, and now I can't accept you because, it just it didn't ring true to me.
You want him to fight for Kim?
I wanted him to, even if he couldn't get past it, I didn't want him to just throw up his hands and walk away. Like, baby, you're nuts.
No,
Let's get you some help.
I'm with you,
paging Kevin
on
Collins.
That. Yeah, I'm with you on that.
Yeah.
I think that he should have fought behind the scenes for her because he obviously she's not going to listen to him now. But, gather all not gather, but, get together with Liz and with Scotty and try to get her help as well as getting help for Franco.
Right.
Yeah, that would have been a much more interesting storyline to play out. And one more thing, everybody that listens to us regularly knows General Hospital is my show of the 4 shows. But, oh, my God, please end this freaking Julian, Brad. If they speak one more time about no one else knowing and how it's going to blow up and this and that, I wish somebody would just come in with like a fire torch and just start burning down Charlie's while they're talking.
Thank you.
How many more conversations can we have about this?
I think we're getting it for Christmas. Because
this is going to play out all the way through Christmas, not November Sweet.
Well,
oh God, General Hospital, why?
Well, I'm going by what Nell said, that she could be out sometime in December if this goes well with her parole.
Okay, let me ask you, too. Did I imagine, wasn't Wiley sick like 2 weeks ago? That there was something that they were looking into, like a genetic kind of thing. Did I imagine that?
2 weeks ago?
No, I'm making light of the 2 weeks part. But very recently, wasn't there something that they were concerned that he had something genetic?
He has the same thing Michael had and the same thing AJ had.
Right.
And,
the thing with the heart.
And then they just dropped it, right? They never mentioned it again, right?
Right. Right.
Yeah.
Shouldn't that have been the opening to how could that be? Since Lucas technically is not blood related to Michael?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I think I know where you're pointing to, where Brad had Shiloh's medical records he was looking at, and Lucas caught him looking at it, and they were looking at the at the heart, and they said, hey, there's nothing there.
Yeah, and then did I miss anything? But they never mentioned it again, right?
They never mentioned it again.
No.
Lucas is a doctor.
Maybe that's something that's going to happen during sweeps, and that's where it's going to culminate with Nell and everything. You know, because maybe he's going to need a heart transplant or who knows what. And, you know, it has to be blood related, and she's going to have to tell the truth.
Okay, yeah, that's good. That's a good supposition.
Yeah,
I mean, I don't know how else you're going to get around
I'm looking
it.
forward to it. I'm going to be crying my
come.
eyes out when Willow finds out the truth.
Yeah, that's going to be a rough one.
She's already hooked on him.
Mm-hmm.
I think they're trying to up the game a little more in her favor before they do anything else.
Well, it was pretty heartbreaking watching her talking to Wiley, saying, you know, I wish that I could tell you I'm your mommy or whatever she had said at that point, and you know, and I'm thinking to myself, oh boy, wait till she finds out her baby is really dead.
Yeah. And then on top of it, to find out that Nina might be her mama. Although I still think they're going to shock us and make Nina Nell's mother.
Yeah, I do.
Although they
that
did
route
have
too.
a Willow and Nina, they did have a Willow and Nina row in that steam room.
I think that's a red herring. I do. I think they're setting it up. Yeah, and I think that you know what's going to happen. And I'm almost positive, knowing General Hospital for, you know, I'm not going to say how many decades, but I think Nell is going to suddenly have the other half of the heart.
Mm-hmm.
Because why would they bring that back up out of nowhere for the wedding?
Yeah. Well, maybe just as a gesture, as it was written, the way I see it, you know, as a gesture that, yeah, you're my daughter, you're part of the family, you know, we're all getting married, and I don't know, that's how I took it.
No, and I think that's how they meant us to take it, but this is General Hospital, you know, Ice Princess, you know, the monkey boy with one hand, you know, it's gonna, somebody's got the other half of that heart. It's either Willow or no. Somebody's got it, and it's going to we're going to see it innocently, and then all of a sudden all the pieces are going to fall into place.
Mhm. Yeah. Well, we're down to 2 minutes, so whatever else you guys want to bring up.
Yep. Where are you going this weekend?
Who?
Oh,
Sam.
Oh, I'm going to the GH event.
Oh.
People, stop calling me Pamela, or I'm going to hang up on all of you.
Oh.
Going to the GH
Pam,
event.
Girl?
Oh, I don't know, a few people. I'm going to see Wes 90 Seconds, the lady is telling me. Wes and Will and, oh my gosh, I can't think. Help me.
Wally.
Wally Kurth, how could I forget him?
Yeah.
M.
Rylan?
Yes.
Oh, so it's the 3 W's, Emmy,
Brianna, and Maura,
I
think.
Yeah,
You're
Maura.
going to be busy. You're going to be busy.
Well, yeah, it makes sense because of Wes. That's an interesting. Wow, you should have fun, girl. You're gonna pop up the website.
I cannot wait. I just I don't get to go to anything, you know. So this is going to be great. I'm not going to the individual what do you call it?
You go into the VIP.
Individual meet and greet kind of thing, but I'm in the middle one where I get the photo with all of them. Will DeVry, Donnell Turner, Maura West, Wally Kurtz, Wes Ramsey, Emily Ryland, and Brianna Nicole Henry.
Wow.
That's what I'm seeing.
I'm jealous. I am so
Exciting.
jealous. All right. Well,
And
we will be back in 2
the
weeks.
show has ended, so we'll just go ahead and say our goodbyes because I think they can still hear it recording even if we're gone. So thank you, everyone who tuned in. Thank you to my wonderful co-hosts, and we will definitely have Candace with us next time. Thank you to our wonderful guest, Courtney, who is a light on this earth. And everybody have a great night.
You too.
Good night, everybody, and thank you.
Stay soapy. See you next time. Dun, dun, dun,
Bye-bye.
dun.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.